6.
It's 6 p.m. All you know what time that is, right?
You know we wild and rich. VVS, them that are the diamond drip.
All you know what time that is, right?
People if we chop it 1-6 and roll it, we wild and rich. Me full of money and me still at. Me dip on the gas pump with a spliff a bill. I pay him, cause he lick up like a king and this you try for this at the volume. Got kick like rubber ring. Drugs, me not think like boat with a pin. We clean them and try study way like if people money.
If you watch the screen now, you'll see the man of the hour reach. Think set up. We're gonna go to a few commercials. And when we come back, we'll be talking to the man himself, the one and only DjCoppa. So if you have any questions, make sure you put it in the chat room. Do it from now, you know, because I don't forget to watch the chat room and thing now. All you organize all yourself now. Organize all yourself.
Welcome one and all to the Sky's the Limit Family Store, where we provide all your household retail needs, kitchen appliances, clothes, shoes, furniture, toys, books, decorations, jewelry, and more, all in the comfort of one store. So come on down to 675 North Main Street, Troutman, North Carolina, 28166, Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And let's help you save one purchase at a time. See you then and bring a friend.
Do you have a spare room in your house or extra place you would like to rent? Download Quirk, a new space rental app that can help you earn extra money with your space. Visit QUUIRK.com. Create an account, upload your photos, and get ready to rent. Now on Google Play and on the Apple Store. See you soon.
During this holiday season, shop with Seeds of Essence, a small 100% chemical-free company in Charlotte, North Carolina. Seeds of Essence produces all-natural chemical-free skincare options for all skin types, promoting healthy, glowing skin. Check us out on Facebook at Seeds of Essence, Instagram at Seeds of Essence, our website at seedsofessencenceldc.com. Contact us at 646-791-6581 or seedsofessence18@gmail.com.
Yes, hello, 911?
What's your emergency?
Jesus Lord, I am in my room, in my apartment, and all I hear is VibesScene with Mr. Dandalus. This all damn day, Mr. Dandalus and VibesScene. Jesus, it's just too much. It's too much. And the drums are beating way too fast. It's aggravating my bipolarism. I have issues, okay? Please, can somebody stop Mr. Dandalus and his godforsaken VibesScene? Fire for that, as they were saying. Jesus Lord.
Hey man, I told you, man. I told you, he's the baddest, man. You listen to nobody else, man. That's why, man. First he got the power. After he got the power, then he got the respect, man. You know what I say? So you listen to Mr. Dandalus, man. And the VibesScene, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Look at you now, huh? Look at you. You can't deal with no other DJ. They're all cockroaches to him, man. You better listen to him, okay? I told you already, man. Look at you. You wanna do it? Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Play them tunes, man. You go ahead, man. I ain't gonna tell you, okay?
Wonderful. Thanks, Matthew.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, this is Paul Mahone. Oh, glory be. Is that Mr. Dandalus of the VibesScene? Glory be to our Father saints in heaven. Judy!
What is that you're playing over there? What is that? Oh, that's Mr. Dandalus. Oh, somebody get the door. Oh, no, that's the VibesScene. Listen to Mr. Dandalus and so much. Judy!
Yeah. Yeah, let me set up myself, man. Let me set up myself. How you mean, man? Just now. Hold on. I'll come to you just now. Let me put on some light, man. Let people see my face a little bit. You think it easier? Watch that light now. Yes, this is your boy, Mr. Dallas, thing called the VibesScene. We are right here on thing called What's Up Wednesday. Last week we interviewed Thunderstorm. The week before that, we spoke to my brother Jungle Warrior. And now we're gonna be speaking to the one and only Coppa. Yes, Coppa, what's going on, boy?
Why the vibes in with the VibesScene? You know how it go.
You don't know. So, first of all, I would like to thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to actually have the time to have a little conversation with you and, ask a few questions. I saw a lot of people want to know a little bit more about you. I don't see why not. You're out there DJing events, doing your things. So a lot of people will be curious to know what you got going on, because as you know, we're living in a pandemic right now, so things aren't really the way it used to be, but we make it go.
Right.
So what is you seeing, Coppa?
Yeah.
Tell me something now.
Well, I good, staying busy. I always say there's two sides to me, right? There's Coppa and then there's Ernest, right? So
Gotcha.
Ernest on the business side is doing really well professionally. Coppa on the music side, photography, I'm just chilling. Enjoying the vibes. I do a little thing on Friday nights, as you may know. So
Yes.
I get to play music, and that's at the core of it. That's my escape from the work week.
Of course.
Love the vibes. So any opportunity to play music, that's what I tend to do. Come Friday, I listen to music throughout the week, download, you know how it goes.
Right.
Download, listen, and play on Fridays. So for now, that's it, just really chilling.
Nice. So, what is your first event for when this pandemic stop?
Well, most likely down to us, it'll be some kind of Soca Second Saturday reunion.
Of course.
That's been the flavor we've been rocking with.
Yeah, we will talk about
before
Soca
the
Second
pandemic
Saturday.
come through it. But I expect to kind of move back into that scene and continue doing the radio vibe with my boy up in Brooklyn. So yeah.
Okay, so how has the I know as a DJ it has really affected, this pandemic thing had really affected all of us, Me for one, I always looking for a party fix, but it kind of risky, taking those risks, you want to bring anything back to anybody or whatever.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing to get your little party fix or so forth?
Yeah, I think at the beginning we were all kind of looking for that same fix, right? Just get out, do a little hangout here and there, face mask. Even when we did a lot of vibes we did back in 2020, things weren't on lockdown quite the way they are today.
Yeah.
So we would take little risk, at least practice some social distancing. But now that it's cold outside and you don't have those venues, not really doing a whole lot on the party scene. Actually, not doing anything on the party scene, quite frankly, unless it's virtual.
I know. So So I want to get a little bit more into the details about Coppa. I want to know what actually got you started in this whole DJ thing.
I moved to Brooklyn from Grenada when I was 14, and back then I was really starting to get into dancehall. Dancehall started coming on the scene real popular.
Okay.
And then when I moved to Brooklyn, realized that my dad had a full DJ setup in the house. Even though I was not allowed to touch it,
of course,
that gave me inspiration, right? So I started whenever he wasn't home, playing around with the music, with the records, and mixing up tunes and stuff like that. Beat matching in the beginning, right? And then I started buying records, right? And growing up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, tons of opportunity and record shops to buy music. So I would save, if I get a little $10, $20 from my aunt, save that up to buy a record. First record I actually bought was a Major Mackerel, I think, Russian Dan Band. Those songs. But my dad was DJing, so even though it was house parties, my dad had a ton of records. So when it came to soca music, disco, you know, the old heads had it, right? Disco, lovers rock.
Gotcha.
They had that down pack. So I used to just practice with his records, and that's how I got started. And then eventually bought my own setup. And you know, once I went to college, the rest was history. I was DJing at college, like throughout the 4 years I was there. I was one of the main DJs on campus, at least for Caribbean events, and the rest is history, as they say.
Were you ever involved in a song system? Because you know, back in the days, you know, they had like a lot of song crews. You know, that's actually how I got started too. I was at a song crew. So were you involved in any song crew? And if so, were you into the clashing thing in those days when you were in the song crew?
Yeah, so eventually I got into a sound. I used to play for this sound out of Brooklyn and Buffalo, New York, called Liberation High Power. Okay. And back then, you know, the dub plates were coming in every week from Jamaica, like fresh plates, right? We never really did no clashing, but we did a lot of parties between Brooklyn and Buffalo. Just about 2 or 3 times a month I would be going up to Buffalo for some really big dances up there. But most of my gigs were not really on the clash scene, right? It was just vibes. So while I was going at Stony Brook, it was just pure vibes.
Oh, Stony Brook.
Even after Stony Brook, it was just vibes. Yeah,
I remember Stony Brook, man. I used to go over there and play a few parties as well over there back in the days. I'm talking about like early 2000s, late 90s, you know. Back then.
Yeah. I was a legend at Stony Brook, man. I did. I was in charge of concerts at Stony Brook.
Oh, really?
Right? So we did Buju, Beanie Man, Brown Tequila versus Biggie Smalls before he died. I'm talking like some legendary shows that we did at Stony Brook, you know. And I did a lot of promotions coming out of college around that too, but eventually, to me, there wasn't enough money in that, so I kind of left that scene alone. But yeah, I did a lot of that stuff growing up in Brooklyn.
Okay, and what was the biggest event that you ever DJ'd?
I would say it was probably in the gymnasium at Stony Brook, right? So it was for the Beanie Bounty show, and even the Buju show. Whenever I had a really good relationship with Earth Ruler from way back in the early 90s, because one of the main youths on the sound, Dreddy Dan, was a good friend. He used to go to Stony Brook, and so once I started bringing them up there, I used to always DJ the soca segment whenever they were playing, right? So I would say playing in the gymnasium at Stony Brook for about 2,300 people was probably the biggest event that I did.
Got you. And what is your favorite song? This is a tricky question, right? What's your favorite song that you don't play, and why?
My favorite song that I don't play. That's a really good question, Dandalos. That's a really good question. That one is tough. I think, you know, it's for me, it's and it's not an old song, right? But it's Chronix's I Can. That song to me, you probably won't hear me on a regular basis play the song. Right. But that's been like an inspiration for me since that came out, and I love the vibes and the motivation that I get from that song. And my team where I work over at TIA, you know, they've heard me talk about the song so many times and recite some of the lyrics that they got me like a plaque that I have on my wall with the lyrics in a record form going in a circular written form. And that's been with me ever since. So when it comes to inspiration, I Can by Chronix is probably my favorite song that I don't play as much when I'm DJing.
I want you to commit to everybody who listening right now that when you have your show on Friday, you will play it, and also the first event that you get to play at after the pandemic or whatever, you have to play that tune, man.
All right, you got it.
And I have
big tune too.
Actually want to know as well, so as a DJ, you have to be versed in multiple genres, right? You know, you have to touch on the hip hop, you know, sometimes the country, alternative, soca, you know, you touch the dancehall, you know, it's a bunch of different genres. So I would like to know, what is your favorite genre that you love to play?
Are you talking outside of the regular? My favorite genre that I like to play, it's obvious for me, it's soca, right? I can play dancehall extremely well. I grew up on that. I know dancehall. But if you got to take me to a zone where I know I'll have a good time and just enjoy the vibe, it's soca music for me. Hands down.
Yeah. Same thing here, man. Same thing. Soca in my blood, soca in my veins. I try to tell people, you know. I try to tell them, you know.
Yeah, man.
Soca is do something that there's just, I know, I can't understand how people can stand up still when soca playing, and I can't understand how you can't like soca. You understand?
Right, I say the same thing, Dandela. So
you know how I feel it is? I feel if you don't like soca, it's simply because you cannot whine. You don't know how to gyrate.
Even some people that can't whine love of the soca. They be trying though. I watch them sometimes. I don't look at them too long because they throw me off. But yeah, to your point.
Yeah, because I always say, like, you know, I love my dance, I love my reggae and everything, but you know, to see the gal and them carry on, you have to drop some soca tunes, man. The girls and them love
definitely,
that.
Definitely.
So I want to know, what is your most memorable event that you did?
I would say it was the Buju Banton concert that I did at Stony Brook, right? Because for me, a lot of people don't know that, but and I don't speak on it a whole lot, but I did actually the first concert Buju had when he turned Rasta in the US was at Stony Brook, which is a concert that I hosted. And you know, he did SOBs in Manhattan the following Saturday, so most people knew that. But the show at Stony Brook was most memorable to me. It was Buju, it was Spraga, it was the Rough Entry crew, which was Shaggy, Rayvon, Screecher Dan, the whole crew, Rough Entry crew, Baja Jet, that whole team. That show was a sold out boss. I still have the recording on cassette that I got from her children because they DJed that. Yeah, man.
That's interesting, man. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So I want to step aside from the DJ thing for a little bit, and we go right back to it. But I know you are, like, anybody in Charlotte know that if you're having an event, you have to have Coppa come and take your pictures.
Yeah, man.
As a matter of fact, you know, I just made a website, and one of the pictures that are displayed as the main photo is actually a picture that, you know, you took because you have a knack for taking pictures. Like, where did you learn that? How did you discover that you had that knack? Was it a passion? How you came about to know about the photography skill that you have right now?
Yeah, you know, Douglas, it started just whenever I used to take trips back to Grenada, right? I used to in the beginning go home and then I'd come back and have no real memories of the trips in terms of capturing it, right? So I started shooting with, you know, back in the day, like I had a little Canon ELPH camera that I used to take pictures with.
I know them.
Eventually, right. I got into DSLR shooting with Canon. Canon is a brand I love simply because my dad used to shoot with Canon, and I just kind of liked it. But the main reason why I really got into it was just being here in Charlotte. I recognized that we had a ton of events that we were doing as Caribbean people, but we weren't capturing the moments, right? So we have an event, it passes, and then there's nowhere to go look at, hey, how was this event, or what did we do? And when you think about capturing sponsors from a marketing perspective, if you can't show or demonstrate like, you know, that you've actually had an event and the turnout, it's hard to get sponsors, right? So I started doing shooting events. So everything I go to, even if I was the DJ, I'd try to pull up my camera and play, or if it's multiple DJs there, I would defer to them and capture the moments. And that's the real motivation and reason behind it. And I started just kind of looking at videos on YouTube to learn how to shoot manual, how to shoot in low light and all of that stuff. Because, you know, the party scene is almost always low lighting and things like that. And it just became a regular hobby. I don't travel without my camera no more whenever I go to an event. I love taking pictures.
I noticed that. And you're very good at it, I might add. Very good at it.
I appreciate that.
So
but yeah, you even hooked me up with some events outside
Yes,
of the,
yes, I
the
did,
DJ
I did,
scene, right?
I
I
did.
appreciate that. So referrals.
Yeah, because they
Thank
called me
you.
from New York, because originally from New York, so a New York crew came
Yep.
down. They're like, they're looking for a photographer. The first man stepped to
Yep.
my mind was Coppa.
Yes. I appreciate that.
So I say I had to link you. But now I want to talk about Soca Second Saturday.
Yeah, man.
How that started, you do it with On Track, who I'm going to be speaking to On Track as well next week when
Yes,
we line
sir.
it up. So
Yes.
we'll be talking to On Track as
Yeah,
well.
man.
But Soca Second Saturday has, I must say, you guys are doing very well with that. And
Yeah.
I was glad to be, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last Soca Second Saturday was at the Rabbit Hole before
Rabbit
the
Hole,
whole,
yeah.
So myself and High Def came up and we blessed the
Yes,
place. And
right.
it was a movie, man. It was a movie.
Yeah, man.
So how this whole Soca Second Saturday came into fruition?
I have to give On Track credit, right? On Track, Neil. Neil and I go back for a number of years. Neil is one of the DJs that I rate here in Charlotte. Like, if I ever needed anything, whether it's a piece of equipment or vice versa, I could reach out to Neil and get that. So we have this mutual respect for each other. And then
Understand.
personally, I just love the way how he moves with family, his daughter, and all of that. And so we became really cool. And we've done a few events. We referred each other to a number of events over the years. Okay. And when he started, we were trying to figure out what's a new niche or something to do, because we were like, look, there's not a consistent place or venue that really plays soca like that, so why can't we do something that is consistent? And he approached me with the idea and was like, look, I'm thinking of doing this event called Soca Second Saturdays every Saturday, and I want you to come in with me on it. And he didn't have to ask twice, and it's never when it comes to music about money for me, right? It's love of the culture and music first.
Exactly.
And I feel like everything else will fall into place. And we just started doing it. And that stemmed from, when Twilight was around.
Oh, yes.
I used to be like a staple DJ at Twilight with, Thunder used to be there on rotation, G Sounds and people like that, right? And so to have an opportunity to do something without us not having Twilight anymore, that's kind of how I looked at it, right? We could create a buzz. It's not every week, it's once a month. People will anticipate that coming up. And that's how it started. And we decided we didn't want it to be just about us, but let's rotate and bring in different DJs every time we did it. Just kind of showing the love. And that's how it kicked off. And it's been a good vibe. I hated when COVID came around, right? Because we were really starting to climb and we had some really good plans that we were looking to execute last year, but time will come around again.
So what year you all actually started Soca Second Saturday?
We actually started in 2019 with that vibe. Yeah, we started in 2019. We had done events together before, but never under the theme Soca Second Saturdays. Yeah,
I'll have to say, congratulations to you guys, because I've really seen it grow, throughout, because, I just came to Charlotte in 2014, and, I just kept going back and forth from New York, because High Definition Songs was the actually first person that got me to come to Charlotte. So in coming to Charlotte, I just keep coming back and forth, and I just love the vibes. And the first event that I did, that's where I met On Track, Neil, and I listened to him play, and I was like, all right, so I know Jamaicans, they don't really play a lot of soca.
Yeah.
On Track was going in, man.
Neil is a Jamaican that will turn your head when it comes to soca. I can't lie.
He was going in, and I was like, yo, who that brother there? But and
yes,
we did a few events, like, as you know, I'm involved with the Glow All White, and one we had Neil play. And as he was playing on one of those, I was like, yo, let me grab the mic. He said, yeah, man, go ahead. And it was a movie, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I'd like to congratulate you guys, because that Soca Second Saturday was a wonderful idea. The way you guys marketed and everything is brilliant idea. I believe you guys actually did a Zoom Soca Second Saturday at one point in time. And I was sitting and I was looking at the vibes, and man, you had people moving, but
yeah.
So
We did. We were trying to keep it going for a while, but we know, just like, you know, in the corporate space, after a while people get Zoom fatigue, right? So we didn't want to play it out too much. Well, we're actually thinking of doing something coming up in the next couple weeks, because if you remember King Rich, who unfortunately passed away. His birthday is March 5th, so we're looking at trying to do something in honor of that, and we may do it the Friday night and turn it into a Zoom showdown. So more to come. We just kind of chatted up about it today, but we're looking to host something next week Friday, just in honor of King Rich, because as you know, whenever he was in town, Rich is an avid lover.
Of course, of course.
Right? And so,
of course, the first time I actually met King Rich, I went to Golden Cross, and I was surprised because I went to now I know in New York Golden Cross, Jamaica,
right.
But I went into Golden Cross and I noticed the lady at the time, she was a Trinidadian. So I was like, and then she's like, she said she was selling like, a lot of Trinidadian delicacies, and it was amazing to me because this is Golden Cross. So at the time she was explaining to me that she was speaking back and forth to the corporate office of Golden Cross as far as introducing some of these delicacies that she had from her homeland. And that was the first time I met King Rich. He had I'd order a bus up, and he made the bus up, and I tear that up. So rest in peace, King Rich. He was really a joyous person, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
So we are approaching the end, right? Are there any? Do you have any websites, handles, or anything that people could get to follow you on if they want to find out a little bit more about Coppa?
Well, it's always on Facebook and Instagram. I have a Twitter, but I don't really tweet like that.
The same thing here.
It's Ernest. It's Ernest DjCoppa Alexander on both Instagram and Facebook, and that's where you'll find me more. And same on Mixcloud too, right? So I'm here on Mixcloud.
Oh yes. Every Friday you have a show on Mixcloud.
Yeah.
Just yesterday I was listening to one of your shows where you're playing like a bunch of songs, or some dancehall songs and reggae songs that I grew up with, and man, was just vibe.
Yeah, some 90s vibes and shit.
Yeah, it was vibe, man. I couldn't take it off, man. So man. Before we leave, I want to get your opinion on the War Room.
Yeah.
I want to get your opinion on the War Room. What is your take on the War Room? Because it really came out. I would say, right, the Star has been doing his thing for a number of years.
Yep.
And before I even meet Star personally, I remember coming to Charlotte and heading out to the War Room and everything. And then after that, sometimes when I'll stop by the garage and thing, and with Thunder and High Def, and we speak to Star, he was like, I want to bring a soca thing, and he expressed his passion for it. And since the pandemic is like, I saw him go hard to the point where it's like, if you want to find somewhere and you can't find nowhere, the only place to go is the War Room. You understand? So what's your take on the War Room?
Yeah, I mean, I love the vibes, right? So Star and I go way back. Star's dad is my neighbor, right? So he live up the street. And when Star first moved to Charlotte, we met. And the War Room, before it became the War Room, was the garage, right? And I was telling people, I remember we used to have a ton of just hang out. It was like a chill spot for us, right? And moving old engines to the side so we could clear some space, wash down the place, and just have a vibe.
Yes.
And Star personally had this vision of kind of doing something a little more with it, and he followed through on it. But to your point, it's not something that just started the other day. So I give him credit for having a vision for something he wanted to do and following through. And
doing this
not just that, but not being selfish about it, and
definitely,
kind of spreading the vibe about North Carolina outside of North Carolina, right? So like people in New York, people all over can hear about, there's sounds in North Carolina too. There's a nice vibes in North Carolina. I think that's one of the things that he does and pushes really well. Now, if you know Star, if you're going to go around Star, he's going to talk about war and clashing. That's his bill, right? Even last year when we did the Labor Day weekend thing, that wasn't supposed to be no clash thing, but Star can't help himself. Everything is a clash for Star, right? So you just got to know that that's that side of him, but at the end of the day, it's purely from a place of love of the culture and the music. So Star is my brother, right? I support what he does in that space, and if Star say, yo, Coppa, I need a speaker, or I need some wires, or I need this, I'll show up, because that whole setting is something that's not done selfishly, but it's done for us as a Caribbean community. If we need a place to go, if we want to do something, that's someplace we can definitely go. So I'm always be supportive of that.
Okay, so the very last topic that I want to touch on is something that I'm sure people, like especially the locals in North Carolina, probably wonder, like, when I will spring it or when I go talk about it. So I will bring it up right now. And that is the soca clash that we had. Now, I'll give it to you from my perspective, right? So, as you know, with Star, everything is like, yo, who gonna clash this or who gonna clash that? You understand? That's Star motive, you understand? So he brought it to us, and myself, High Def, Thunder, we just all about, playing music. We too are lovers of soca or whatever, and this is what we do. So when Star brought it to our attention, like, I see he was really amping it up, talking about, he got to get 3 duppies, he had to make 3 coffin and everything like that. What was your tour process going through that whole process before the actual date happened?
Right. I mean, I myself, I'm not a clash DJ, right? That's not my speed. And so personally, I wasn't into it. But once the stage was set, it was like, well, we're going to do it, and when On Track couldn't make it, I was like, you know what, there's no real other soca DJs here that I want to team up with at this point, right? That is going to come out and bring a vibe. Plus, I thought the vibe of 3 versus 1 would be more hype than anything else. So from a pure marketing perspective, I was like, yeah, let's keep the hype going. And we're like, yeah, we'll have a surprise DJ.
I know we surprised you. I know we surprised you with that Santana.
Oh, yeah, well, I was expecting anything that night, and I knew Hayden had relations, right? So that was surprising. That was part of the vibe, right? And that's part of what we do with it. But I think what I enjoyed more than anything else was just the vibe leading up to the actual weekend, because Thunder and Hayden, you guys had a show on Thursday nights, I think it was, and then I would play on Friday nights, right? So we were rinsing like 90s, some Clash 45 like every week, like back and forth. And of course, the hype man himself, Star, would come in and be like, yo, Coppa, I'm about to kill you. And then he would come on mine, like, yo, Thunder, you better watch out. So I think it created such a hype around it that I really loved it.
You could instigate. Big up yourself, Star, whichever part of them, man. You're instigating, right?
Yeah, but the only thing that I'd say is, like, if we I'm not about clashing. That's never my thing.
Same here, man. Same here. Like,
I would love to see us, whatever we do, hopefully we can get outside at least the way we were last year. Come this year is do the same paint and powder, but have it be more of a paint versus powder. And I agree with you last week. Like, it shouldn't be Atlanta versus Charlotte, because you and Hayden don't live in Atlanta. I think that was just the vibe and the angle that Star was working at the time.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be supportive of that being the theme going forward. It would have to be more something something different that doesn't make it feel like, you guys are not part of the Charlotte soca community in and of itself. So that would be the only thing I would change. I wouldn't sign up for nothing that says Atlanta versus Charlotte, because it truly isn't.
It truly
but it was the
isn't.
angle at the time that was played. So
Yeah, it truly isn't.
yeah.
Well, Coppa boy, I had to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to just get a little bit more in depth with, you know, what you have going on, learn a little bit more about you and your little personal history that, you know, a lot of people might see you on the stage doing your thing but don't know of. I believe this was an opportunity for them to get a little bit closer to find out, you know, a little bit more intimate details about the man himself, the man behind DjCoppa. See, you have your little jab thing on. Like,
yeah. You know, I always represent 473. The jab is always alive.
Yeah. Oh, I have to big up. Speaking of jab, I have to big up Natalie. You know, I think today is her birthday. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think
Natalie,
she have
big up,
a
man.
show going on Facebook. If you got the link, you know, like, check out Natalie right now. She doing I think she launching a lingerie thing or something like that.
Yeah, I know definitely on Instagram. I'm not sure if she's streaming on Facebook, but I'm pretty sure she's doing it on
big up Natalie, which have a party there, right?
For sure.
So Thunder, is there anybody else you want to big up? Is there any things else you want to add before we leave?
Well, first of all, thanks for the opportunity, right? Just to be part of the forum. I like what you're doing, right? Continue to share the vibes. The vibe scene is something I always tune into, and sometimes I miss it. But the beauty about Mixcloud is you can go back and listen, right, and just enjoy a session. And so, anybody that's pushing music, I always want to say much respect to. I have to big up my crew. You know, I rock with One Love Army all day. So
One Love Army, yeah, man.
One Love Army ladies, usual suspects. You know, they're gonna give me some trouble. And then big up to my boys on track, and definitely Mr. Clutch. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, Clutch's birthday was recently. His birthday was recently. Big up yourself, so Clutch. Have a party there. Yeah,
man. Big up to the crew, right? That's family right there. So big up the entire, again, One Love Army crew and all the Charlotte Massive that listening. Just continue to enjoy the music and support what we're trying to do, because it's not selfish. It's really just about creating a buzz and a vibe for the community.
Exactly. Well, Coppa, I would like to say once again thank you for the opportunity. I really was excited when you actually said and you know that you want to do the interview, because I always wanted to, you know, I just thought of this, you know, instead of, because I could interview a whole bunch of people, but I was like, you know what, I want to start with Charlotte right now. So I want to link up all the DJs in Charlotte, all the promoters in Charlotte, see who accepts, see who don't accept or whatever before I go outside, you know. And
man.
Yourself, On Track, Thunder, High Def are some of the main people that I wanted to reach out to. And I also want to reach out to Star, because he's doing great with his whole garage, the war room thing. I see it like how he started off, and you know, very impressive, you know. So I had to big up Star, big up yourself, Star, whichever part you did, Dave, or the whole crew. And son, big up all yourself as well.
Definitely.
And once again to Coppa, thank you.
Yeah, man.
And listen, I'm looking forward to sharing the stage with you again as soon as this thing open.
Same here.
And then we do we thing, right?
You got it.
All right,
bless
man.
up,
All right, man.
All right, be safe.
Thank you. You have been locked on to your boy, Mr. Dallas, the Vibe Scene. We do it right here, WhatsApp Wednesday. Thank you for Coppa for giving us the opportunity to interview him. Let me get back to the music right about now, right?
So sweet, you could taste it. Slide on him. The man say you kiss my bumper, baby. Wetty, him like the ocean. Wetty, him like the ocean, yeah. Wetty, him like the ocean. He say your body look good, girl, push that back. We bubbling like Sunday lunch, me say. What's up the season on the counter, dance.
mechanical. We never fight up yet, but the thing get physical. Your body feels so magical. Yeah, girl, you know me love you some of day. All year round, every season, and you give it to me properly. All right, son, you don't like teasing.